Beerus the Destroyer is one of the most important characters in all of Dragon Ball, despite only debuting in 2013's Battle of Gods movie, well after DB, Z, and even GT had ended. Beerus quickly became a fan-favorite character thanks to his cool design, mysterious origins, and overwhelming power. Little by little, in the movie Resurrection F and the subsequent series Dragon Ball Super, fans came to know more about this cantankerous old deity, expanding on his role as a balance keeper in the universe and fleshing out just how important his duties as a god are. More than a force of nature, Beerus has been a friend and mentor to Goku and company, saving them from certain destruction and lending a hand whenever they need it. As important to the story as he is, fans often wonder how differently the series would progress if some part of his story were to change. Today's video will explore one of the most interesting narrative-changing what-ifs about the character. What early? We all know the story. Decades before Battle of Gods, Beerus, keyed into the Super Saiyan God prophecy by his ever-forgetful Oracle Fish, decided to take a teeny-tiny 39-year nap while he waited. When he awoke, as expected, he scoured the universe, or rather King Kai's planet and Earth, for his fated foe. On Earth, Beerus chowed down on some delicious food, watched Vegeta dance, and proceeded to beat the living hell out of everybody, and I mean everybody. Poor Bulma. After everyone was KO'd, someone finally had the bright idea to ask Shenron about the Super Saiyan God. Yada yada, pregnancy, ritual, yada yada, and boom! The Super Saiyan God was born. Armed with his newfound divine power, Goku engaged the god one-on-one in the most awesome, universe-crumbling battle that the world had ever seen, and then he lost. Win or lose though, that battle was entertaining enough for Beerus to spare Earth, and the good food certainly didn't hurt. After that, the rest is history. Depending on when Beerus wakes up though, the story could have played out pretty much the same. Or it could be radically different. To start, let's say Beerus woke up just a bit early, around the time Tarbell was on Earth. Since Tarbell was apparently pure-hearted, the ritual would go on without a hitch, even without Pan being there. The fight between Goku and Beerus wouldn't go much different either, since Goku probably didn't get much stronger between now and Battle of Gods. Since Goku would make friends with Beerus earlier, he and Vegeta would likely go off to train sooner, which means they would actually be stronger in the scenario. All in all, this would be the best timeline for the Z Fighters, as the others get a whole lot bleaker. If Beerus woke up during the Majin Buu saga, then the whole cast would be wiped out. I know what you're thinking, so let me explain. Beerus and the Supreme Kai's lives are linked, meaning if one dies, the other dies too. This weakness worries Beerus, and for good reason. We see Goku Black exploit it to get rid of all of the Gods of Destruction in future Trunks' timeline. Beerus himself died as a result of Deborah killing the Supreme Kai. Before Shin's generation, it's unclear whose life Beerus was linked to. Maybe the Grand Supreme Kai, or Elder Supreme Kai, or maybe every Supreme Kai. After Majin Buu's rampage millions of years ago, however, there was no ambiguity. Beerus' life was linked to Shin, and if he died, Beerus would as well. Beerus would take every precaution to protect his own life. He even threatened to destroy Goku to keep him from meeting with Zeno because he was scared of what such a meeting might entail. The Buu saga was full of times where Shin's, and by extension Beerus' life, was in extreme danger. Believe it or not, the first time Shin's life is in danger comes from Goku, when the Supreme Kai stands in between him and Vegeta. Goku raises his hand and aims a Kamehameha right at his face, sending a clear message: move or die. Could you imagine how Beerus would react if he saw that? Imagine waking up from his nap. Beerus asks Whis, what are the Saiyans doing? And Whis, ever so helpful, summons his staff from thin air to investigate. Oh my, he gasps, shocked at the insolent display he's seeing. You won't like this at all, my lord. Get on with it, Beerus asks, taking a bite of whatever outer space food is in front of him. Two Saiyans are fighting on Earth right now, and one's threatening to kill the Supreme Kai. Hearing that his own life was that close to ending, Beerus wouldn't waste any time. He'd want to get to Earth immediately. Whis' travel takes 37 minutes, so that might not even be fast enough. No, he would talk to the Supreme Kai himself, using telepathy as they do, and tell him to teleport over and bring him to Earth. Once on the blue and green planet, he would waste no time destroying Goku as he and everyone else look on, shocked and terrified at this mysterious visitor. All Beerus would have to do is raise his hand and say, Hakai, and before anyone knew it, Goku would be gone. In a rage, Beerus wouldn't stop there. He would destroy the entire Earth, and maybe even the galaxy itself. After all, he's destroyed planets for far more trivial reasons before. Look at what happened when the weird dinosaur alien tried to fight him, or when that one planet's host tried to poison him. Earth and everyone on it would get a one-way ticket to Otherworld, and that's if Beerus is being nice. As we've seen with Zamasu and Dr. Mashirito's ghost, Beerus can destroy even a person's soul if he so chooses, and if his life's on the line, he definitely would. But let's say Beerus didn't see Goku almost kill him. He'd still have plenty of reasons to get pissed off in the Buu saga. When Shin fights Majin Buu, he almost dies, so the scenario would pretty much play out like the one above. If Beerus catches wind of it, the Earth is gone. The only good time for Beerus to wake up during the Majin Buu saga is at the end, when Kid Buu teleports to the Supreme Kai's realm, a place even Beerus wouldn't destroy, and starts wrecking the place. You can bet he and whoever else looks at Beerus wrong are gone. But then we'd miss out on one of Dragon Ball's coolest scenes in the process, Spirit Bomb versus Buu. Once Beerus is done taking care of Buu, he'll probably remember why he woke up. Looking at the Saiyans up and down, he'll ask the obvious question, where's the Super Saiyan God? Of course, Goku and company wouldn't know about any Super Saiyan God, and they couldn't make one if they wanted to. They didn't have enough Saiyans. So, disappointed in his prophecy, Beerus would destroy Goku and Vegeta and be on his way. Sure, they'd get revived if their souls aren't erased, but then they'd just die fighting Frieza when he comes back to Earth. Since Goku and Vegeta wouldn't be gods, they'd stand zero chance against Frieza, so he wouldn't even need to blow up the planet. But come on, we know who we're dealing with. He'd definitely blow Earth up just because, and this time, without Whis to save them in reverse time, Frieza's victory would be permanent, at least until Zeno destroys Universe 7 for having low mortal level, but hey, small victories. Let's take it back even further though and see what other really crazy changes would occur. Let's say they go back to the Saiyan or Namek saga. At this point we can kiss the ritual goodbye. You'd have a snowball's chance in hell of fighting 5 pure-hearted Saiyans at this point. Moreover, the Saiyans are far weaker at this point in time, with only Goku even surpassing Frieza, whose power Beerus seemed to respect, though it was a far cry from his own. So even if Goku somehow could become a Super Saiyan God at this point, it would be useless. Whatever planet Beerus meets Goku on is going to make beautiful fireworks. Frieza himself would die too, as Beerus didn't really like him. He said as much in Battle of Gods right after waking up. In the same scene though, we get another interesting tidbit, one which seems inconsequential in Battle of Gods' story, but is actually tremendously important. When Beerus asks Whis where the Saiyans are, he mentions how many are on Earth and highlights that Goku, who beat Frieza, is on King Kai's planet. This scene showcases some very important facts about Whis. 1. He knows where the other Saiyans are, and 2. He can see into their pasts. The reason Beerus goes to see Goku first in Battle of Gods is because he thinks he's the strongest Saiyan, which at the time might have been true. However, his main reason for thinking this was that Goku beat Frieza. If he woke up before then, he wouldn't have any reason to think so. In other words, we don't even know if Beerus would go to Goku first. Even if he visits Goku first and finishes him off quickly, do you think Beerus would just give up on the legend? Or would he look deeper into space, searching and searching for another opponent? Sans Super Saiyan God, Beerus' search would inevitably lead him to a desolate, disgusting planet in the far reaches of the universe. A planet where giant bugs prey on even more giant beasts, and the desert climate could drive a man insane. Beerus would go to Vampa, and there he would meet the actual most powerful Saiyan in the universe, a Super Saiyan named Broly. Of course, Broly wouldn't be a Super Saiyan at first, but that would change quickly enough if Beerus takes his time warming up like he did against Goku. Broly's power would rapidly increase, and Beerus might finally be satisfied, thinking Broly is the opponent he's been waiting for. In his base, or Ikari form, Broly's power was enough to match Goku's Super Saiyan Blue form, which means he'd actually be far more powerful than a Super Saiyan God even without transforming. If something were to happen to make him snap, such as Paragus getting hit with a stray energy blast, Broly would snap and then his power would really skyrocket. We don't know exactly how powerful Broly can get in his full power Super Saiyan form, but Goku himself said he might be stronger than Beerus, which means Broly would definitely give Beerus a much closer fight than Goku did in Battle of Gods, if not win outright. Even though Broly wouldn't have Divine Ki, Beerus could just chalk this up to the Oracle Fish being a bit gaudy with the prophecy, echoing Whis' statements that the name Super Saiyan God was over the top. In his mind, this would definitely be the Saiyan of legend. Though he would definitely enjoy his fight with Broly, the ending isn't as optimistic as Battle of Gods was. Both the combatants were rational people, which means you could have a peaceful ending. Beerus spared Goku, and even if Goku were stronger than Beerus, he likely would spare him the same way he did Frieza, just so long as Earth is safe. With Broly, however, the same can't be said. Broly was literally insane, his mind taken over by sheer rage and uncontrollable power. When he first transformed, he sent volleys of ki blasts out, destroying the landscape and threatening the planet itself. As his own father Paragus said, Broly was a danger to himself and everyone else. If Beerus proved stronger, he would likely have to kill Broly to win, just as Gogeta tried to do with his Kamehameha. If Broly proved stronger, then the universe would be in trouble. Engulfed in rage, Broly would finish Beerus off and destroy the very planet he was on. Assuming he couldn't breathe in space, that would be the end of him too, further reinforcing how he was a danger to himself. If he somehow did survive in the vacuum of space, such as we've seen him do in the non-canon movies or seen Bardock do in his OVA, yes, he was in space, not the upper atmosphere like some people like to cope, then he could go on to rampage throughout the universe, spreading destruction on a scale even Majin Buu could only dream of. Whis would be inactive, pending the selection of a new god of destruction, and absolutely no one in the universe would be able to stand in Broly's way. The only hope they'd have would be Champa or someone else wishing Broly away with the Super Dragon Balls, but considering even Beerus didn't know about them until until his brother brought them up, it's possible no one in Universe 7 would know either, except for Zuno, of course. Could Zuno become the hero of the story, getting in contact with the heroes of Earth and leading them on a trans-universal grand tour to stop the most powerful foe they've ever seen? Doubt it. Actually, aside from Zuno, there are two other people who might beat Broly in the scenario, at least in the manga: Moro and Beerus. The Dragon Ball Super manga's power scaling is all over the place, so nothing is certain, but it is possible that a full power Moro is stronger than Broly, as Goku called him the toughest opponent he ever faced. Beerus, the angel in training who lent his talents to the Galactic Patrol, was on par with Ultra Instinct Goku when he used his angelic powers, though he was temporarily erased from existence as a result of using them. If either one were to face Broly, it's possible they would win, though a universe in which Moro beats Broly isn't much better than a universe where Broly wins. Regardless of who wins between Moro and Broly, Beerus would likely take out the winner, sacrificing himself to save the universe. If Granola were to make his wish on the Dragon Balls earlier, perhaps sensing Broly's arrival to his planet, he too would be a contender to beat Broly. Then Gas would make his own wish and take him out before himself passing away as a result of the wish shortening his lifespan, leading to one of the more peaceful endings in which all of the behemoths are gone. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, any timeline in which Goku doesn't befriend Beerus, and by extension doesn't befriend Zeno, will inevitably be erased for having a low mortal level. Zeno already planned to erase 8 universes, including Universe 7, for having a low mortal level, but Goku's idea for a tournament actually gave them a chance to survive. When Android 17 won the tournament and got to make a wish on these Super Dragon Balls as a prize, he made the only right wish the Zenos were looking for. He wished to restore all the universes that had lost. This act of selflessness proved the universes were worth keeping, and thus saved everyone's lives. If Goku had never met Zeno and gave him the idea to host a tournament, then everyone in those 8 universes would have been eradicated without a word. Looking at all the possibilities, it's clear that Beerus woke up at just the right time. The universe would still be safe if he woke up just a little bit earlier, but if he woke up too early, all of existence would be at stake. What does this tell us? It tells us waking up too early is a bad thing, so you should always hit snooze on that alarm clock and get 5 more minutes. Even though Zeno erasing everything seems like a foregone conclusion, Dragon Ball GT, which was made long before Battle of Gods, is seemingly unaffected by the events of the new Dragon Ball era. For example, Kibito Kai hasn't defused in GT, and God Ki isn't a thing. The out-of-universe reason for this is obvious. The new concepts and stories came later, but in-universe it opens up a world of possibilities. Perhaps Zeno wouldn't destroy the world for some reason. Maybe Goku bringing a second Zeno back made them talk about the sad state of the universes more and ended up being the reason why they want to destroy them. Maybe someone or something beat Zeno. Regardless of why the GT universe was spared, it stands as an example of Dragon Ball without Beerus' influence, one of the many forking paths in Goku and Company's cosmic fate. One is almost tempted to ask what would happen if Beerus woke up in GT, but that's a topic for a different video. I hope you enjoyed this what if. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to DB Hype for more awesome Dragon Ball content. We've got everything from breaking news, including